Ray Douglas Bradbury was born August 22, 1920 in Waukegan, Illinois. He was the third son of Leonard Spalding Bradbury and Esther Marie Mulger Bradbury. They gave him the middle name Douglas after the actor Douglas Fairbanks. After an encounter with a magician, he started to do magic. Magic was his first great love. If he had not discovered writing, he would have become a magician. He also once dreamed about becoming an actor. He graduated from Los Angeles High School in 1938. He became a full-time writer in 1943. His first collection of short stories, Dark Carnival, was published in 1947. The Martin Chronicles was published in 1950, then The Illustrated Man, then Fahrenheit 451 in 1953. Ray Bradbury wrote Fahrenheit 451 on a rental typewriter in the basement of UCLA's Lawrence Howell Library. He has been married since 1947 to Marguerite McClare. He has 4 daughters and 8 grandchildren. His favorite author was Edgar Rice Burroughs. He has published more than 30 books, about 600 short stories, and numerous poems, essays, and plays. He has been nominated for an Academy Award and won an Emmy Award, plus many others.
Exposition. Guy Montag is a fireman in a futuristic society where he and his co-workers start fires rather than put them out. Books are banned and burned upon discovery, and Montag has no problem with this responsibility. But then he meets Clarice McClellan, a 17-year-old girl who happens to be his neighbor. She's very chatty and opens his eyes to the world of nature, dewdrops, and not being a stooge. Montag grows increasingly dissatisfied with his life and work as he talks more with Clarice. He starts to wonder if perhaps books aren't so bad, and even steals one from a burning house. Meanwhile, his boss, Captain Beatty, is growing suspicious, rising action. He lectures Montag on the dangers of books and explains the origin of their profession. Far from climax. Montag's anger finally takes over and he kills Beatty, along with the mechanical hound sent after him. Now a fugitive, Montag takes his way to Faber's house, where he watches his own chase on TV. Montag flees to the river at the edge of the city, while a different pedestrian is killed in his place. Montag finds forest-bound individuals who turn out to be ex-professors and other intellectuals. The leader, Granger, explains the situation since books are now banned. They each have memorized one text, following action. Guy Montag would like to volunteer parts of the Bible he tried to memorize earlier, but he cannot remember where this happened. Cry. The city is suddenly bombed. They return to the city to rebuild society and restore the knowledge of books. That was the resolution.
Guy Montag is a protagonist in the story. He's a fireman. When the story goes on, his faith in his job and society begins to decline. When Montag comes face to face with books for the first time, he is confused, frustrated, and overwhelmed. He begins to think about life more as he meets Clarice. Guy Montag begins talking to a man he met in the park several years ago named Faber, who helps him stand up for what he believes in. Mildred is the wife of Guy Montag. Mildred doesn't show her feelings on the outside and seems to have no hope of resolving conflicts within herself. The fact that she attempted to commit suicide suggests that she is in great pain and has an obsession with technology. She later turns in Montag because of her fear of books and doesn't want to be labeled the wife of a fool. Clarice McClellan is Montag's 17-year-old neighbor. She has made an impact on Montag's life. Clarice definitely sees the world differently than everyone else. Clarice has made Montag think about his happiness, his wife, and his life in a whole different way. The day that Clarice died changed Montag's whole life. Beatty is the captain of the firemen. Captain Beatty is a book burner who strangely knows a lot about literature. He is a very complex character in the story, and is also the antagonist. Beatty is mostly an unhappy character, and he no longer obtains satisfaction for the work that he does.
Faber is a retired English professor who Montag met one day by accident in a city park. When Montag starts questioning his job, he calls Faber, and then he becomes a friend and a mentor. Faber helps Montag understand what he is reading, and later on in the story he helps him escape to the countryside with risk of getting caught.